Hello and welcome everybody. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Now, I've been getting a few requests about the upcoming Senate runoff races on the 5th of January. The people are really interested in what's going to happen. So I thought I'd do a video about this, and it's sort of divided into two parts. The first part is basically a bit of background and how the system works in the US for those people that are outside the US. So Americans, please bear with me for a few minutes while I just briefly explain why this is happening and some of the things around it. Then I'm going to do a tarot reading to see what the outcome is likely to be. Okay, so let's go to the board now. And I've written some notes down here. So basically, the key date to remember is January 5, and this is the Georgia Senate races. There's two races, and it's a super important election, so I would encourage everyone who lives in Georgia to go and vote, because this is so important. The whole future of the United States depends on Georgia, and I'll explain why. Democrats, well, basically what happens is the American system has 100 senators, and each state, there's 50 states, contributes 2 senators. This government body, the Senate, has the ability to block laws or pass laws. And so with the new Democrat government that's coming in, and I know people will say, no, but yes, I know it's happening because I've dreamt about it multiple times now. So with the new Democratic government, they will want to pass laws, and the Senate can block those laws if they have the majority. So they need 51 in order to block a law. The way it is at the moment, Democrats have 48. There's some conjecture. Some say Republicans have 49 or 48, but it doesn't really matter at this point, whether they have 48 or 49. So the deciding vote is the vice president. So that will be Kamala Harris. Okay, so Democrats still have a pathway to gain control of the Senate. Now, the reason Georgia is so important is because when the US had their election, David Perdue, who is the incumbent Republican, got 49.7, and John Ossoff, who is the Democratic challenger, got 47.9. And Georgia has a rule that says that candidates must get 50% or more in order to win, and no candidate got 50%. So that's why they're having the runoffs now. There was half a dozen other candidates, most of whom were Democratic, and they got 1, 2, 3%, those sorts of margins. So they won't be able to run. There was one Democrat who got 20% margin, and so they won't be able to run this time because the runoff is between the two highest. Okay, so one would think that those other Democrats would put their lot in behind John Orsoff. Okay, but we'll have a look in the tarot reading. I don't get, it's really iffy. I don't get a strong feeling around John Ossoff at the moment. Okay, but I'll wait until I do the reading to find out for sure, because things will come out and I'll be more in the zone when I'm doing the reading. So, it's very close here. The second runoff is Reverend Raphael Warnock. Now, I didn't even know he was a Reverend, but some weeks ago something came out about Georgia, and I could see a lot of angels around Georgia in my reading here on YouTube. He got 32.9%. Okay, he's a Democratic challenger, and I've put here angels because this man, as soon as I heard his name, I got goosebumps all over me, and a very strong feeling. So I feel very confident that he is going to win. The other person is Kelly Loeffler. She got 25.9%. She's a Republican incumbent. She's an appointee. The Governor Kemp, his name is Kemp, he appointed her. She has not been elected, and that was about a year ago. So really, she's an unknown quantity because she hasn't been elected. The thing to remember also about Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue is they've both been investigated for insider trading. So what happened was back in February, I think it was, when COVID became known to the majority of the government senators and congressmen, and it might have even been January actually, I'm not sure of the date. But anyway, when they got whiff of what was happening with COVID, they sold off a lot of stocks, David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, and they were investigated for insider trading. I'm sure the Georgian people won't forget that. Okay, they were found. They were not charged. They were found innocent, but that still has to put a bit of a stench in the air, doesn't it? Okay, so the other bits of info around this that are important is that Democrats are urging, Democratic voters to move to Georgia to vote. Andrew Yang is moving to Georgia. Now, look, I had this random thought, and you may or may not agree. I don't know what I think about it. This just came into my head this morning. Black people voting for Republicans in Georgia. Is this a case of inherited Stockholm syndrome? Now, Stockholm syndrome is when somebody's being kidnapped, for an example, and because there's no way they can win, they're in captivity, their ego, or the top part of their personality, actually identifies with the captors. Okay, so they become more like their captors, and it's a psychological mechanism so that your world doesn't completely fall apart, because you can say, well, I'm siding with them and they're the winners, sort of thing. They're the ones in control, therefore I have some sort of power, the theory goes. Okay, so is there any validity in the thought or in the argument that that black people who vote for Republicans in Georgia have inherited Stockholm syndrome because their ancestors were slaves? I mean, how is it possible, if you had ancestors that were slaves, that you would side with the people that enslaved them? I don't understand that. But see, I'm an Australian and we got a totally different history here. Just let me know what you think about that. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but that's a random thought that I had today, and that's something to think about. The other thing to remember is that in order to vote in these Georgia Senate races, you must register by the 7th of December. Okay, so I would encourage everybody to do that who lives in Georgia and who is eligible to vote. Please go and vote, because the future of America and the entire world depends on what happens in these two races. Okay, so let's now go to the board, and we're going to do a tarot card reading on this. I'll do a five card spread as I normally do. First card, I just want to have a look at the general energies around the Democrats gaining both Senate positions in Georgia. I'm going to go with that card there. Closing my eyes now. What do I see? I might actually just, before I do that, I might just make that like that. Okay, so we can see the cards better. Okay, so the Democrats gaining both Senate positions in Georgia. What do I see? Okay, there's something here about sewing a template, and there's like a pattern. Okay, so maybe going back and looking at previous results might yield an answer here. But I also think it's about reaping the seeds that you have sown. I actually see seeds now. Reaping the seeds that you have sown. And I want to ask, what kind of seeds have Democrats sown in Georgia in the past. Okay, I'm seeing an ultrasound for a baby in utero. So this baby's not born yet, but the baby has a super strong heart. I can hear the heartbeat, and I can see the heart in this ultrasound pumping. So there's a baby that is about to be born, and it's a democratic baby. Okay, so it's got a bit to go yet, but we'll get there. The Hierophant, it's all about knowledge. And I always like to add my little bit here, the wise application of knowledge, because you really need wisdom to know how to apply knowledge properly. It's all based, and I want to say, it's all based on the books of the law. Now, what law are we talking about? Are we talking about human law, or are we talking about natural law? Just close my eyes here. It's all based on the books of the law, and I see Moses with the 10 Commandments. So they were like the books of the law. So it's based on the 10 Commandments. That's really obtuse. I don't know how to interpret that, but maybe it'll come clear later. Okay, but it's all about knowledge. Okay, let's draw another card now and see what we get. And I'm going to ask the same question again to try and get some clarification. What's the energy around the Democrats gaining 2 positions in the Senate race in Georgia? Nah. I'll go with that one. Nah. I'm going to go with that one. Okay, close my eyes now. What do I see? Georgia gaining. Okay, so there's a well here, like with water. It's a very deep well, and it's got cool water, and somebody's bringing up a bucket of water. This is all about emotions and rejuvenation. It's like people are like, it's almost like it's a desert. People need a drink desperately. They've been too long without water in Georgia. So too long without water, it's like repressed emotions. Emotions have been kept down, and they desperately need to let these emotions up. And it's almost like they're sort of on automaton mode, you know, like because it's been so hard for so long, it seems like they really desperately need spiritual rejuvenation from government, not just their own, what they can do spiritually, but they need government leadership and government spiritual rejuvenation. I'm seeing them getting that water. I'm feeling like that's Democrats, but I'll just wait before I say for sure. Okay, wait. Well, isn't that interesting? Because this is 7 of Pentacles. This is like waiting for your ship to come in, waiting for the plants to grow. Remember, I got the seed thing here, back here. So yes, the seeds have been planted, but they take time. It's not people. They must be immensely frustrated there in Georgia because they don't know and they have to wait. Look, the plants are growing. It's not going to happen overnight. I'm wondering, even though the election is on the 5th of January, I'm wondering if there's some legal action after the election, and because it goes to the Democrats, and then there's more delays. Okay, this is like super frustration. Time of waiting. It's also important that both parties don't waste their money, because they're spending, both parties, I understand, are really spending up big in Georgia trying to get their candidate across the line. And I feel like both parties are wasting money in some ways. Maybe they're not targeting their audiences properly. Maybe they're targeting people they think might vote for them, or, you know, but not in the right segments, you know, so they could be targeting the wrong age group, for example, or they're targeting women and they should be targeting men, or something like that. Okay, but there's a waste of money there. Okay, let's have a look. And of course, one party's going to lose. So the party that lost wasted their money, really, is what it comes down to. Okay, now those 2 people I was talking about, Raphael Warnock, okay, the energy, I think he's in. I just got such a strong vibe around that man. and closing my eyes now, Raphael Warnock, and he's a Reverend. What's the energy around him winning a Senate position in Georgia? God, this feels important, so important. Okay, I see like a scepter. It's like a column rising into the sky, but it's also like a scepter, which is a symbol of royalty and governance. Okay, so his governance runs high. I don't even know what that means, but they're the words. His governance runs high. And there's some sort of ball on the top of the scepter. It's like a diamond or something like that, and I can see it actually glowing in the clouds. And so this is a very good sign that he will win. And there's a group of people here, 3 of Wands, so there's a group of people here that are behind him, and the passion burns brightly, and they're all taking action towards that. Okay, so he has a lot of support. And even more important than the numbers of people that are supporting him is the absolute passion with which they're supporting him. They are convincing people to vote just from their sheer passion. Okay, so extremely motivated people. I feel, because there's 3 women in this card, I feel like he does better with women than men. And but even so, there's still some men that come across to him, but I think it's the women that are going to get him across the line. Okay, now the other one is John Ossoff. Apparently John Ossoff is a filmmaker, and I've only heard him speak once. A whole heap of cards just came out. I didn't even get to close my eyes. Magician. The magician, he needs a miracle because Georgia doesn't usually, it's not, it's not a blue state generally, even though they didn't vote for President Trump overall. It's generally not a blue, it's not a blue state. So, but here we have blue in here and some red too, blue and red. Okay, but he might take on some of the ideas of the Republicans, but it's mostly blue. And so, and there's blue in here as well. Okay, so the magician is about manifesting your heart's desires, manifesting your reality, and your, bringing it down to earth. So he's certainly got the capability of doing it. He's got the 6 of Pentacles here. This goes back to this card here about wasting the money. He needs to be super careful, John Orsoff, how he actually organises his campaign, because although he's probably got a lot of money, that wastage is a real issue. Okay, wasting money. So this is all about giving and receiving. He's receiving heaps of money, and when he gives it out, he's got to give it out appropriately. So it depends on the money. It depends on how he organises his money, or his team organises his money, and it depends on his ability to manifest. Okay, I'm getting very strong feeling in my face, in my nose, okay, and my eyes. I just feel like tears of relief in Georgia. And the nose knows. I always think of the nose as the ability to know, because in your subconscious it's like a similar sound. So often the subconscious doesn't really care about spelling that much. It's the vibration of the word, and the nose knows. So I can feel that in my nose. So now I'm getting some physical clairsentient feelings around John Ossoff. I'm feeling more confident than I did before. Okay, and I'm just going to maybe close my eyes and see what I see. My right eye is watering. That might be the right is the male side. That might be the Republican side, because with Democrats I feel there's a lot more women going, that have been elected. So I think the male side is the Republican side, and there's tears in my right eye. So I don't think they're tears of relief. I think they're tears of sadness. But yeah, what do I see around John Ossoff? Wow, it's a long way to the top. There are stairs and even more flights of stairs. It's a hard battle. He's tired. Just as well as, relatively young and fit and healthy and strong, because this is such a hard battle. But he doesn't stop, he keeps on going. I feel he's going to get there. I see him walking up to this, it's almost like the Capitol building, I think it's called, that round domed building in Washington, D.C. It's like he's walking right up to the top into the domed area, which you can't normally walk up there, I know. But I just feel that he's going higher and higher and higher, and he's going to get to his goal. Okay, so last card. Definitively, will the Democrats carry the Senate? Okay, close my eyes now. What do I see? I see a lot of papers. I see a lot of records going back. Oh, it's a bit dirty, this. People going back and looking in the past to see what dirt they can dig up on candidates. I also see records going back through records. As I said before, 5th of January, that's the election date. I think there's going to be some legal action around that, because it's like go back through and check all the records or something like that. Okay, Page of Pentacles. This is a younger person, quite often, with a lot of energy and got a lot of potential. And they don't have all of the information. They may not have experience. There's things that are unknown to them, but they do have some information, and there's a lot of action. I always feel, if you've been following me, you'll know that I often say about pages that they bring good news. They do bring news, but maybe because I'm optimistic is my nature, I feel it's often good news. But this is typically a younger person, so I will say that John Ossoff is going to, carry the Senate against Perdue, who is much older. And I'm not sure who's older, Warnock or Kelly Loeffler. They're probably around the same vintage, in fact. But the question was, will the Democrats carry the Senate? And so I'm going to say yes in both races, and then Kamala Harris will have the deciding vote. Okay, so I'm just going to close my eyes now and see if there's anything else to add to that. Closing my eyes now about Georgia Senate election, 5th of January 2021. Okay, this is probably means nothing, but the first thing that comes into my mind, January 5th, 5, 2021, 5. That adds up, 2021 adds up to 5. It's the same number. Add the two 5s together, you've got 1. New beginnings in Georgia, January 5, 2021. I feel a lot of emotion coming up. I feel a lot of people crying from happiness. I've got, like, my chest is full. Like, it's just such a bloody relief. So I don't know if you can see my eyes. I've got a tear coming down here. Anyway, so the answer, I'm feeling more confident than before. I'm really certain that Warnock is going to win, just because when I heard his voice and I saw his name, because I only saw it, I think it was yesterday or this morning, because I haven't been following, because I'm pretty busy, and I just got the sense of all of the angels coming in. So I just feel immense gratitude for the angels of Georgia, and immense gratitude for him, what he's actually doing. And I ask that we all pray to keep him safe. Okay. Anything else? What else do I see? Newsflash. I'm seeing newspapers being printed. Of course, a lot of stuff's online nowadays, but my subconscious is still back, in the past in some respects. Newspapers on conveyor belts, and it's like a huge headline. It takes up the whole of the front page of different newspapers, and it's like Dems win. Okay. It's like a shock. It's almost like a shock that people don't believe that they could do it. I see the word win very clearly. It says Dems. I'm just trying to go back and look again and try and focus on that. I see the newspaper. I see the whole front page. I see the word win with an exclamation mark, and I'm trying to focus on the word above it, because sometimes it appears to me it's like microscopic, or it's like I'm looking at a very zoomed in view. So when you look at a zoomed in view, it's hard to get the whole picture. Yeah, there's a gavel down here. This suggests more legal action. There's a gavel and some, okay, judgment's done. Yeah. So, okay, I am reasonably confident, given that reading and what I've just seen, what I've just felt, I'm reasonably confident that Democrats will win both Senate races in Georgia, but I am very confident that Warnock will get up. The other one doesn't seem as strong, but my reading indicates that John Ossoff will also win. Okay, leave your comments and your likes. Thank you very much. I appreciate that in advance. If you're new, please consider subscribing to my channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. I'll be up very shortly again. I'm starting next month's tarot reading, starting with Aries. Okay, see you all soon, and thanks for popping by today. Okay, bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website, absolutesoulsecrets.com, for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.